Back in the day, the Neo Geo was just too darn expensive for me to ever get my hands on. But thanks to many compilations and mini consoles, today I can give it a shot. I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I count down my top 10 video games for the Neo Geo, with a couple of hidden gems.
Second Opinion Games.
Number 10, Overtop. This is an overhead driving game where you can pick from many different cars. Certain ones handle just a little bit better or faster. Sliding around corners feels like a great time, and the map is open and varied, with tons of secrets and shortcuts around every corner. Even though the game itself isn't very long, there's tons of exploration here, and it never outstays its welcome. So when you pick up and play, and you don't get first place, try a different car and give it another go. Eventually you will memorize this entire map up and down, and you will have a great time doing it. This is one of the simplest, most fun, addictive racing games I think I've ever played, and it's certainly one I keep coming back to. Number 9, Baseball Stars 2. Trying to figure out how to make a game of baseball into an arcade game must have been really frustrating. Luckily, the people at SNK pulled this off great. There's tons of different voice sampling. The fielding doesn't feel too bad because it seems to auto-field for the most part. Sometimes it does require a button input. You can steal bases here. You could even power up your batters to freaking unreal proportions. Hitting home runs is terrific. Getting a triple play, even better. Competing with friends, this is one of the best games you could possibly imagine. And it stays fresh through and through. Not to mention you have to change out your pitchers and manage that as well, because if you're completely out of juice, well, you're throwing 35-mile-an-hour fastballs instead of the 121-mile-an-hour ones you're used to throwing. This is really deep and involved, and is certainly one you have to give a chance. Number 8, Neo Bomberman. You guys know Bomberman by now. You blow up things, you blow up enemies, you collect power-ups to become even stronger, and then you eventually blow up yourself because you became way too overconfident with all the different power-ups that you previously picked up. This is one of the best Bomberman experiences that's ever been made in a very long-running Bomberman experience. Even though, all the Bomberman games are, for the most part, really good, this one truly stands out. There's even lots of boss battles here, which are very much welcome in this game, and it's certainly an addictive experience that you just can't put down. Number 7, 8-Man. You play as a generic superhero in a side-scrolling platforming beat-em-up game similar to Ninja Warriors because it only takes place on one plane. Now, one of the coolest things about this game, even though you have different maneuvers like a slide and a super crazy punch, is that you have ultimate bombs that nearly clear the screen every time, and you're encouraged to use them freaking often. Normally you have to save these in games, but here they continuously reload you with your super bombs all the time. You could also run really fast in certain stages as creatures jump in and out of the background at you. This is really cool. The bosses are big and over the top, and this is definitely one of the best beat-em-ups you've probably never played. Number 6, Neo Turf Masters. This could be the most exciting game of golf you ever play, with the music that keeps you amped up, and an announcer that is over the top without being too obnoxious, putting that is perfect. Choosing your clubs is really easy for this arcade game, and yes, they managed to make golf play great. When you get a double or triple bogey, it is entirely your fault. But when you sink a long putt for a birdie, you're ready to high-five everyone in the room. Neo Turf Masters just might be the greatest golf game of all times, and there are 4 complete golf courses to play on. So there is plenty of gameplay here to keep you practicing, and there's also plenty of different characters to pick, each with their own attributes. So as far as golf games go, this one is about perfect. Number 5, Cross Swords 2. At first glance, this is just your average beat-em-up game, but then it won't be too long before you realize that you have to block things with your shield and then unleash massive counterattacks in this epic story. You have 3 different characters, each one with their own special attributes to choose from. Some could be more powerful when others are more speedily and maneuverable, which you just might need. All of them have a different magic attack, which is great for clearing enemies that you just can't beat by playing fair, and there's a hot item shop girl that will level up your weapon to make sure you're ready for the next fight. And there's also a whole nother mode that's basically just like Punch-Out! That's right, the Neo Geo version of Punch-Out is Cross Swords 2. And that makes it one of the best games ever made in my book. Number 4, Spin Master. Who would have thought a yo-yo would be such a great weapon to take down some evil foes that kidnapped your best girl? Well, at least until you pick up a bomb to destroy things that way. But my favorite weapon in this entire game is electric homing missiles. How cool is that? Each weapon you manage to pick up has its own magic ability, which you could do for devastating attacks. That's right, your girl was kidnapped, and it's up to you and all the weapons that you find along the way to get them back in this action platforming 2D adventure. You could even jump on people's heads Mario style to get the kill in, and run and jump into minecarts Donkey Kong style and fight against your enemies. Heck, there's even turtles here that look kind of like Koopa Troopas. So yeah, this is very much for those Mario fans out there. The game itself even has multiple endings. Will you do it for the girl or for the money? Because in the end, you could always buy more girls. So I think I'm in it for the money. Number 3, Blues Journey. Yeah, I'm a sucker for great action platformers and teeny tiny protagonists. Also, your main weapon here seems kind of like something out of Bubble Bobble, where you stun enemies and then pick them up and then use them as your weapons. At least unless you pick up a bomb that then you can just throw them and blow stuff up. Of course, there are hot item shop girls to help you out along your way, with one more little gimmick, and I mean little, because you could shrink down to size to fit through tight spaces to pick up more treasure as you play through this game. The boss battles are gonna be big, but no, this is a very tightly controlled action platformer game that is just fun to play, and rather challenging because you have to go back every time you die and you don't pick up exactly where you left off from. So you kind of have to learn from your mistakes instead of pumping in imaginary quarters into your Neo Geo. Number 2, Nom 1975. Yeah, this is a gallery shooter and probably one of the best ever made. You have a run button to dodge enemy ammo, and you can even do a cartwheel to avoid imminent death. You can throw grenades at your enemies, as well as set them on fire with flamethrowers. If you happen to rescue a hostage, well, she'll even join you in the fight, picking up a machine gun and mowing down her captors. However, when you die, she'll just run away, never ever to come back to you and help you out again. The boss battles here are crazy, with some insane voice acting that sounds about right for its time, which means not that good, but in a great possible way. And some of the bosses are massive with lots of moving parts. Yeah, as far as gallery shooters goes, this is definitely one you have to play. And the only reason it didn't take the number 1 slot is because some of these bosses are just cheap as all heck, with bullets flying everywhere. And how the heck am I supposed to avoid any of this?
You will die.
Number 1, Prehistoric Aisle 2. Helicopters, explosions, and dinosaurs. If that didn't sell you, then you were a nerd, my friend, because this is one of the best concepts that have ever been pushed out in video games. Yeah, I really wish I could kill more dinosaurs in video games and just make them go extinct all over again. Of course, this is more of a bullet hell shooter than anything. You could hold in the attack button for a machine gun, but I found tapping it definitely gives you the best results. You'll continuously power up as you play through the game. However, if you get hit, well, then you lose some of the different power-ups. But if you put in some more imaginary quarters, well, then you can come back to life and pick up tons of power-ups all over again. So you actually have a shot at making your way through this game. Clearing the boards and picking up hostages to save the day feels like tons of fun, and I really like killing dinosaurs, especially in a helicopter. And with a console that has some of the best horizontal and vertical shooters that was ever made, for me to praise this one so high to call it my favorite game on the Neo Geo is definitely something. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this list. I had a great time making it, and normally I like recording on the real hardware, but the Neo Geo is just way too expensive. So if there's a game you think I forgot about, please let me know in the comment box down below. And also, there are tons of fighting games for this system, and I didn't feel like I was qualified to say which one is better than the other, because they require tons and tons of gameplay in order to pick up the different little subtle differences between those fighting games to figure out which one is exactly the best, and I didn't feel fully qualified to do so. Also, I hid my sheep somewhere in this video, and no one has been able to find them in my past couple of videos, so maybe you'll get lucky and we're super observant when you've been watching, but I don't know, maybe I think I beat you. So until later, I will see you again, guys.